أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ثم الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه الأخيار أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. I welcome you all once again to this episode of the Golden Series, episode 19. Alhamdulillah. Inshallah, in this episode we are going to discuss another popular poem, a very popular, widely popular. Almost every institution that teaches Arabic will once in a while do something with this poem, and it's mostly acted, and I've acted it before out among some other colleagues during the days when I was in the University of Ghana at the Department of Modern Languages Arabic session. We acted this poem out, the incidents around this poem, we acted it out in one of the cultural exhibitions and all that. The poem is popularly known as SAWTU SWAFIRUL BULBULI. SAWTU SWAFIRUL BULBULI. SAWTU Swafir. Safir is the sound of the song of the bird, and the bird in question here is bulbul, and bulbul is this small bird. It has this singing, it sings like that. They call them songbirds. In general, they are a group of birds, not just one particular type of bird. They are a group of birds that come under the bulbul family. They have a good singing. If they appear a lot in a silent mood like that, and their singing is very nice. So normally when we talk about somebody with a nice voice, the person is likened to a bulbul. The person is likened to a bulbul to show how the person's voice is nice. Okay, this poem is actually said to be by Al-Asma'i. Al-Asma'i is one of the top scholars of Arabic languages. Very, very top. He's done great work in the field of Arabic language. But then the problem here is that some have argued that Asma'i is not the author of this poem due to reasons that I think are tangible. They say that there are some meter problems with the poem, and Asma'i is a very good language guy. He wouldn't be doing that. And also Asma'i knows Arabic grammar very well. A line like Hayyaja qalbi thamili, which you will come to see. Hayyaja qalbi is fa'il, is marfu', and athamil is supposed to describe qalbi. So athamil should come athamilu. And they are saying that, like, due to certain factors that is not grammatically right, and due to certain faults, the meters are not so okay. It's just like a joke. So they are saying that Asma'i wouldn't be the one to write this. And the occasion of the poem, they are saying, and one of the arguments too is that they are saying Al-Asma'i never met the king that we will come to hear about in this matter, the Khalifa, Mansur or something. So what happened was that the story behind this poem is that, in summary, there was this Khalifa, one of these Caliph of Islam. In his era, he decided that he will give poet, if you write a poem and it's from your own words, not that you pick from somebody and copy, if it's original, he will pay you the weight of what you've written the poem on. So let's say I have something like this. Let's say I have something like this, and I've written a poem on it. They will weigh this particular paper and then give me its size in gold. That was what was happening in the era. So if you write a poem and it's original, they will weigh it and then they will give you the size of that in gold. So this Mansur Khalifa had a very sharp memorizing ability. So if you recite a poem before him once, he memorizes it. And they said that he has a slave girl or a servant lady who used to memorize poem when she hears it twice. And then he has another slave boy who memorizes a poem when he hears it thrice. These are very important. What he used to do is that what happened was that poets started They will stress themselves, spend the night in writing poems and serve it to the Khalifa in the morning. After you finish reciting your poem, instead of him to pay you, because he memorizes it at once, he will tell you that, oh no, this poem is for this particular person, it's for that person. It's not your own writing. So when he has finished also reciting it, now it has been recited twice, the author and the Khalifa. Twice, now the lady has memorized it, the servant. He will call her, come, do you remember this poem that says this, and the girl will now start. And when she recites it, now it has been recited thrice, the poet, the Khalifa, and the girl. This boy, servant boy, will also come because he memorizes it thrice. He will now come and recite it, and it will look like something that I've written my own. How come this person has been able, they've memorized it in the palace as if I've done nothing? Now, this was a good trick the Khalifa was using, but then how long will it last? If you do this to one poet, another poem, definitely it will come to appear that something fishy is going on somewhere. So the poets gathered and they were complaining, and Asma'i, who used to be going around, happened to have occurred on them, and then he heard what was going on, and it came to him that no, there is something fishy happening about this memorization of poem and reciting it. It's not that the poem is old, but then they have the ability to memorize it. So he decided to go himself, change his looks because he was popular. So he decided to change his looks, wear some desert Arab dressings and look some way. And he will go and test the Khalifa with a very tricky poem. So this was what gave birth to this poem. He went to the king, the Khalifa's place, and then he recited this poem. And when he finished reciting it, none of them could memorize it. Reasons being that it talks about a lot of different things. When a poem has different subjects, memorizing it is troublesome at the spot. And when a poem has a lot of strange words and all that, it's also troublesome. And also, the letter L, lam, is too much in the poem. Makes it look like a kind of too much, that kind of rhythm. So it made it somewhat also difficult. These are some points that some people have brought out. Okay, so let's get to the poem. It says, صوت صفير البلبل هيج قلبي الثمل. Sawt is voice, of course. Safir is the sound of the bird, as I've said, and al-bulbul is the bird. So the sound of the song of the bird, al-bulbul, hayyaja qalbi. Hayyaja is to arouse, startle, spark something. So, or to cause an effect, that is to arouse, incite. It says, hayyaja qalbi. It has aroused my heart. Al-thamili, my heart that is drunken. And a drunken heart mostly is given to a heart that is full of love. It is controlled by the love, so it's said to be drunk. Okay. So this sound of this bird has aroused my drunken heart. Okay. الماء والزهر معا مع زهر لحظ المقل. الماء, water, of course, الزهر and flower, معا, together, مع زهر لحظ المقل. So this voice of the bird, it reminds him of his beloved, and it sparks his emotions. And he says, Al-ma'u wa zahru ma'an. He is describing his beloved as looking like the purity of water and the colorfulness of flowers. Al-ma'u wa zahru ma'an ma'a zahri lahzil muqali. As these flowers blossom, and lahzil muqal, al-muqal is the plural of muqla, muqlatun, which is the eye. So his eye sees, how he sees his beloved is like, she's like, her face is like that of a zahra, that is flower. What he is describing here is that he has a reddish cheeks, and then looks like pure like water. It has various explanations here. Okay. Al-ma'u wa zahru ma'an ma'a zahri lahzil muqali. water and flowers together, like a mixture of water and flowers. That is how the sight sees her. Wa anta ya sayyidali, and you, he's trying to speak to the Khalifa. He says, wa anta ya sayyidali, or wa anta ya sayyiduli, wa sayyidi, wa mawlali. This mostly Arab, or in the science of Balagha, in the science of rhetorics, we call it itnab. Itnab is when you use too much, the same words to explain one thing. Too much words. That's what we call itnab. So here he says, wa anta ya sayyid ali, sayyid, and he says, wa sayyidi, and my master. Sayyid ali is the same as sayyidi, and it's the same as mawla ali. So why the repetition? Okay, it would have been a problem in any other poem, too much unnecessary words to just cause your poem to sound. But in this poem, it serves the purpose. He is here to confuse. That is his mission. He says, wa anta ya sayyidali, and you, O my master, wa sayyidi, my master, wa mawlali, my master. And he says, fakem tayammani. Tayamma is to be so in love with. That's why they say mutayyam. Mutayyam is somebody who has been burnt by love. In the first poem in the Diwan of Sheikh Ibrahim Niasse, he says, Abal qalbu illa an yakuna mutayyama. The heart has refused except that it be burnt in love. So mutayyam is that which is severely in love. He says, fakem tayammani guzayyilun. Guzayyilun is the smaller form of ghazal, which is gazelle. So he says, fakem tayammani. Kem here is not questioning. We call it khabariya, ay tufid al-kathra. It's showing how heavy or how many times tayammani, guzayyilun, how many times this gazelle has caused me to fall deeply in love. And he describes it as aqaiqali. Aqaiq is the tasghir of aqiq. Aqaiqali is the tasghir of aqiqli, describing the gazelle as aqiq. Aqiq is a reddish stone, mostly found in rocks, and it comes very original, hard and very red, used in making expensive jewels, like rings is used in making rings, also very expensive. It's called agate or something like that, agate. You search it online, you see the picture of it. They say it mostly comes from when there is a volcano. That is what they say. When there is a volcano, it results from that. But then, if you should search, you see the stone, the picture of it, agate. Okay. So it says, fakem tayammani. How much this gazelle, small gazelle, and they use the gazelle to show a beautiful lady. That is how, if you find a gazelle in Arabic poem, it is used to describe a beautiful lady. This how many times this gazelle has caused me to fall in love. How deeply has she caused me to fall in love? Aqaiqali. And she is like that precious stone. Okay, it says qataftuhu min wajnatin. Qatafa is to pluck. قطفته من وجنة من لثم ورد الخجل. Okay, what he's describing here is that this lady, as he has already said, she's like a gazelle, and up there he told us الماء والزهر, describing her cheeks and all that. Then he says قطفته من وجنة. Wajna is cheek, khad, cheek. I plucked it from her cheek. What? من لثم ورد الخجل. Lathm is kiss, taqbil, to kiss. Lathm is to kiss. Lathama ay qabbala, to kiss. And he says, قَطَفْتُهُ مِنْ وَجْنَةٍ مِنْ لَثْمِ وَرْدِ الْخَجَلِ. It's like I plucked a flower from her cheek with a kiss. It's a bit locked up, abiyat like that, but you look at it again, as I'm sure you'll be following the text as you are watching this. قَطَفْتُهُ مِنْ وَجْنَةٍ مِنْ لَثْمِ وَرْدِ الْخَجَلِ. I, with a kiss on her cheek, like I plucked word al-khajal, the flower of shyness. And when they use shyness to describe a lady, it's like she's a pure kind of lady. So I plucked this flower of shyness from her cheeks. فَقَالَ لَا 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 لَا. Because he has already described her as Guzail, that is why he is giving her qala. It would have been فَقَالَت. Okay. It says فَقَالَ لَا 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 وَقَدْ غَدَى مُهَرْوِلِ. She said la la, she refused. And this repetition of la here is to show that kind of saying no, but I don't mean no. Not really refusing, kind of shyness and all that. فَقَالَ لَا 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 وَقَدْ غَدَى مُهَرْوِلِ. Muharwil is somebody who is jogging, not running, not walking, faster than walking. And that is harwala. Harwala is to jog. So if you say muharwili, that is the person who is, muharwil is the person who is jogging. So it says waqad gada muharwili. Gada is to leave. And when he kissed and plucked the flower of shyness from her cheek, she said la 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 la. She refused and she started jogging away. And he says wal khuwadhu malat taraban min fi'li hadha ar-rajuli. Al khuwadh is beautiful women. Women that are naturally very beautiful and have soft touch. That is what they say. It says, "Wal khuwazu malat taraban," and khuwaz, that beautiful woman, malat taraban. She, when you say malat, yes, tamayala, kind of to be moving in joy, dancing basically. Malat taraban, she was moving in joy. Tarab is joy, ecstasy. Min fi'li hadha ar-rajuli, from the action of this man. So here it can be that al-khuwaz here is describing other ladies, not this lady he kissed. Some have also said it's the lady he kissed that it is describing. That she was so much in joy of what happened, and so she started dancing in joy. Some have also said that some other ladies aside saw this and they were in ecstasy, so they started moving in joy, dancing in joy. And he says, فَوَالْوَلَدْ. Walwala is to wail, like crying and shouting and all that. فَوَالْوَلَدْ وَوَالْوَلَدْ. She wailed and wailed. Wali wali, calling her wali al-amr, her father or somebody who is in charge of her. Ya wailali, oh, damn me, or something like that. Ya wailali. She's calling against this man who has kissed her, and also she's calling like she's been her innocence has been touched. So she's saying wali wali ya wailali, oh woe to me, ya wailali, woe to me. It says for walwalat, she wailed and wailed. Wali wali ya wailali, oh my wali al-amr, oh my, the one in charge of me, her master or her father, calling on the guy. It says for kultu, and he, the one saying the poem, said for kultu, and I said, la tuwalwili, do not wail, do not shout, do not lament. Wa bayini ay azhiri, bayini, show. Al-lu'lu ali, wa bayini lu'lu ali, and lu'lu is beautiful, pure pearls devoid of blemish, mostly found under the sea. But here he used it to describe her teeth. So he says, do not wail, do not lament. Wabayini lu'lu ali, and open your teeth for me to see the pearls. Let me see your teeth. Kind of what he's saying is that stop lamenting and smile or laugh. Let me see your teeth. He says, qalat lahu hina kaza, and she said to him during that time, hina kaza, during the action and during what he said. Inhad wajud bin nuqali. Inhad means get up, stand up. In other literature, we have Asr al-Nahda, the age of Renaissance. That is when things started getting up. And so when he says Inhad, she told him, get up. Wajud bin nuqali. Jud jada, I give a gift. Wajud bin nuqali. And a nuqal is crackers, or what we call snacks, a mixture of nuts. They call it nuqal. And some have also said nuqal here is used to mean drink. Oh, get up and bring us some juice or drink. Get up and bring us some drink to take. Some have also said gifts, just any gift. And so when he told her, stop wailing and calling the one in charge of you, Wali al-Amr, and he told her, no, stop wailing, rather smile and laugh, let me see your teeth. She told him, Inhad wajud bin nuqali. In that case, get up and bring some gifts. Yani, go and bring my bride price and all the gifts that you now own me with. After that, that is when I will smile when you should kiss me. It has this meaning. And some have also said, wajud bin nuqali, I get up and bring some snacks. Let's spend the time. And nuqal is crackers or snacks, nut, mixture of nuts. And he says, قالت له حين كذا انهض وجد بالنقل وفتية سكونني. So when she said that and I got up, فتية, small children, سكونني, saka is to give water to, give anything drinkable to somebody. Okay, so it says وفتية سكونني. And if little children like that, or little girls in that case, sakawnani, they gave me to drink. What did they give him? Kahwatan. And kahwa before originally was used to refer to alcohol. Kahwa was not coffee as we see today. Kahwa is originally alcohol. So it says wafityatin sakawnani kahwatan kel asalali. They gave me a kind of alcohol to drink, and it was kel asali. It was like asal, ani, li to me. It was very sweet, so it was like asal to me. And he says, Shamamtuha bi anafi. Shamamtuha bi anafi. Shamamtuha is to smell it. I smelled the kahwa they gave me, that is the alcohol, bi anafi, with my noses. Anafi is the plural of anf. So he made it plural here. It doesn't really give any essence, just to make the line flow. Shamamtuha bi anafi. I smelled it with my nose. And he says, Azka min al qaranfuli. It was more sweeter. That is, the smell was more good than qaranful. And qaranful is held in high esteem. Qaranful is clove. You know, when they make tea, when you make tea, you put qaranful inside. After you've put your leptin inside and you've made the tea, you put qaranful in there. Arabs used to import it from India. Here in Ghana, we have it a lot. We call it kanafari. Kanafari here. I wish there was a sample here. Now they make it into tea bags. So you don't need to buy you don't need the thing itself, the plant itself. You don't need it. They've made it into tea bags that you just put into your tea. Arabs used to make tea and put it inside. It was the perfume for the tea, flavor for the tea. It's so good for tea if you make it. It's really cool. So you can pick this from here. If you make a tea, put qaranful inside. Okay. He says when he smelled the alcohol they gave him, azka min al qaranfuli. It was more sweeter in terms of smell than the qaranful they've been taking. He says, fi wasti bustanin huli bizahri wa sururuli. Fi wasti bustanin, in the where they gave him this drink, where these beautiful young damsels or ladies gave him this kahwa to drink, is wasti bustanin, in the middle of a garden. That is a beautiful place with a beautiful drink. And he says, fi wasti bustanin huli bizahri. Huli is, it has been ornamented with, that is decorated with bizahri, flowers. وَالسُّرُورُ لِي, and the happiness was for me. And he says, وَالْعُودُ. Oud is lute, L-U-T-E. It's a musical instrument like a guitar, but it's the local type. It has a big belly like that, and the guitar thing is in front of it. They play it just like the way guitar is, musical instrument. So it says, وَالْعُودُ, and this instrument, دَنْدَنَ li. Dandana is the sound that this instrument make. Dandana is the sound that it makes. It's playing gong like that. It has this. If you search lute, L-U-T-E, you see the instrument. It plays just like guitar. It says dandana. It gave me this. It chanted for me. Gave me this sounds. Dana ali, which got close to me. Dana, to get close. Dana ali. The sound got close to me. What tablu? Tabali. What tablu is drum. Says what tablu, and the drum also tabali. Taba is the sound that drums make. When you beat a drum, the sound is called taba, just like this one is called dandana. Says tabali, and this taba is tabali. It was good for me. What tablu taba. Tabali. The drum also gave this beat of it, and it was so soothing for me. And he says tabali, something basa like that. It was all an imitation of the sound of the drum, and it is perfectly accepted here. It says those who memorize this is amazing. So he just imitated the sounds that these drums were making. And he says, tabali. It was cool for me. And he says, was sakfu. A sakf is ceiling. That which you used to seal your house. It says, was sakfu, sakali. And the ceiling also, he's imitating the sound that the ceiling makes when it is beaten by wind. The way it will keep crashing with each other, it will keep crashing and making sounds. That is why he says, sakali. And the ceilings were hitting and making sounds for me. Waraksu, and they were dancing. Qatabali, which was soothing for me. So he was in this beautiful environment with juice to drink and lute, sounds of lute and drums, and the ceilings are making sounds. Beautiful environment. That is what he's picturing here. And he says, shawa, wa shahishu ala warakil safarjali. Shawa, when you say shawa, it's like toasted meat from shawiya, mashwi, toasted. There's shawa, that is, there were toasted meat around. Washahishu here, per research, it can be related to any word Arabic. It doesn't have any Arabic meaning. It says washahishu is basically meat, rich meat. It has been given a diverse meaning. At the end of the day, it comes back to meat. So shawa, they were toasted meat. Ala warakil safrajali. Safrajal is quince. Now there is this fruit. It bears like yellow. It's like apple, and it has these green leaves. There are green leaves like that, and the fruit is yellow. Looks like apple, or let me say pear. So if you search quince on Google, you get a picture. Quince, quince, something like that. Okay, so if you search it, you see the picture. It says shawa wa shahishu. There were toasted meats available, a lot of it. The fact that he repeated shawa means there were a lot of it. It says ala warakil safarjali, on the leaves of this safarjal fruit. On the leaves, looked like the system there where he was amazing. And he says as-safarjal, and he says walau tarani rakiban, and if you see me, as you see me riding ala himarin Ahzal, on a weak donkey. He was riding on a donkey, and the donkey is weak. So if you see me riding a donkey Ahzal, a weak one. The donkey was very weak. And he says yamshi ala thalathatin. This donkey is walking on three what? It's walking on 3 legs. That's why he says it's weak. يمشي على ثلاثة. The donkey is walking on three legs. That is, one leg is not really okay. كمشية الأرنجل, like the walking of Aranjal. And this is another word that has been traced, and you can't find a meaning. You can't lay a hand on a direct meaning for it. The best I was able to come by is that it is a merge of Araj and Anjal. Now, we call this Naht. Naht is carving, when you carve your own word. Now, you see the word itself is Aranjal, as I'm sure you are looking at the text right now. Aranjal is one of the ones that tried to explain the word, said it is a merge of Araj and Anjal. And because Araj has Ain, the Ain of Anjal is deleted. And because Anjal has Jim, the Jim of Araj is deleted. So we have Aranjali. The Jim and Ain in the middle are taken off. And then we have a merge to call Aranjali. We call it Nahat in Arabic language. That is carving your own word. Okay. So it says, this donkey that he is riding, Yamshi ala thalathatin kamishyatil Aranjali, like the walking of Aranjal, the way Aranjal walks. And Araj is to be lame, have one leg cut off or shot or something like that, or to limp on your leg. That is what we call Araj. And then Anjal is an old man whose flesh, or an old person whose flesh is all dead, and you can see the bones and the body is shrink like that. So he's describing the walking, he's describing his donkey like drained, very weak, and also has a defect in the leg. Okay. So he says, Wanasu, as he's going around. Now, as we are now here, you can see how he's moving from topic. He was describing a girl he fell for. He jumped into he being served coffee by some fitia, and then also now he's somewhere, there is a lot of food and all that, and all of a sudden he's driving a horse. He's just driving riding a donkey. He's just jumping in like that. It's hard for you to connect and get a very good flow. Okay, so he says, وَالنَّاسُ تَرُجُمُ جَمَلِي. Tarujum ay rajama, to throw at, to stone or something like that. It's وَالنَّاسُ تَرُجُمُ جَمَلِي. Now you see that he said he's driving what? He's riding what? Himar. As he said, ala himarin Ahzal. He was riding on a himar, which is donkey. Now all of a sudden he says, وَالنَّاسُ تَرُجُمْ جَمَلِي. Jamal is not a donkey. He's now riding a camel. So you can just see. وَالنَّاسُ تَرُجُمْ جَمَلِي. And people are now stoning my camel. فِي السُّوقِ بِالْكُلْكُلَلِ. In the market, people are stoning my camel. And this kulkulali is also kulkulali, bilkulkulali. Is also another word that is also problematic. But I think the best I was able to relate it to is kulkul. And kulkul, if you search rosary P, rosary, our own rosary, mine is not close, rosary P-E-A, is kind of seed, small seed that is used in making rosary. Okay, so it says, وَالنَّاسُ تَرْجُمْ جَمَلِي. And people were stoning my camel. فِي in the market. بِالْكُلْكُلَلِ. So I would say they were stoning with this kind of seeds or pieces that were used to make rosary. And he says, وَالْكُلُّ كَعْ 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 خَلْفِي وَمِنْ حُوَيْلَلِ. And everybody, ka means to gather upon. As one of them said, one of some strange language like that, Malakum taka'akatum alayya. And he says, wal kullu ka'a, and everybody was around me, ka'a, putting fear in me, ka'a ay khawafa. They were putting fear in me, and they were around me, ka'a, they were gathered upon me, and they were putting fear in me. Khalfi, they surrounded me. my back, خلفي, ومن حويللي. حويللي is the تصغير, smaller form of حوللي. حول, حوالي, حوالي, my surrounding. He says حويللي. He made it small, can mean that they were now close to me, just around me. حويللي, they were just around me. So you can just see, all of a sudden he's in the market and he's riding, you can't say he's riding on a donkey, and all of a sudden he jumped and he's riding on a camel, and people are stoning him and all that. Why? Only God knows. And he says, Lakin mashaitu hariban, as they are stoning him and they were around me and they were putting fear in him, mashaitu hariban, I walked away running. من خشية الأقنقلي من خشية الأقنقلي, due to fear of Akankali. And Akankali is said to be a valley with a lot of dust that is merged into each other, and it's also said to be a piled up dust. I would like us to understand it as a stone piled up into one body. And so I would like you to understand the poet is using it to mean a stone, pile up sand, bimana, a rock, khalas. لكن مشيت هاربا من خشية القنقل, but I walked away running for fear of things they were throwing at me, stones and whatever. إلى لقاء ملك, towards meeting a king, معظم مبجل, who is معظم, great, he's great, he's highly honored, ومبجل, and he has this glamour, he has this serious, he has this look that attracts respect and all that. That is mubajjal, he is honorable. Mu'azzamin, mubajjalin, these two words are synonymous in a sense. Ya'amuruni bi khal'atin. Khal'atin, khala'a is to remove something. Khala'tu malabiti, I have removed my dress. Khala'tu, what do we call it? Khala'tu malabisi, khala'tu al-pantalon and all that. I've taken off the dress. So, ya'muruni bi khala'atin. Khala'a is a gift of dress. He orders that I should be given a gift of dress. I am going to this great king who will order for them to give me a dress. That is khala'a, a gift of dress. And he says hamra, and this dress is red. Kaddami, like blood. Damali, soft or something like that, lean. Kaddamali. Says Yamuruli, he ordered them to give me khala'atin, a gift of dress. Hamra, red. Kaddam, like blood. Damali, I will say here soft, something tender, very beautiful dress. Ajurru fiha mashiyan, I will drag it. Ajurru fiha, I will just be dragging in it like that, walking. And he says, Ajuru fiha mashiyan mubagdidan. Mubagdidan, I proud. Mutafakhiran, be proud, walking in it, proud, dragging it. Lidhiyali, I'll be dragging the tail. And when somebody is walking, yajurru dhayl thiyabihi, it shows, it's a sign of tafakhur or fakhr. It's a sign of pride. The person is takabbur actually. When the person is walking and dragging his dress down anyhow, the tail of the dress down, that is the dhayl. It's a sign of arrogance. So he says, Ajuru fiha mashiyan, I walk in it proudly, mubagdidan. Lidhiyali, I would be dragging the tail. Ana al-adibul al-ma'i, I am the literature, adib, al-ma'i, that sparkle like a sun in the sky, like the star in the sky. Min hayyi ardil Musili, from the area of the land of Musil. I'm from Musil. Actually, he wasn't from there. They are saying that it's from Asma'i, and Asma'i wasn't from there. And they are saying that he just said he's from Musil to deceive the king, to let the king not know who his real personality. Because if they know, the moment they get a sign, they will know it's Asma'i. So this is from Musil. Nazamtu kit'an zukhrifat. Nazama is to carve a poem, to write a poem. Nazamtu kit'an zukhrifat. Zukhrifat, I decorated. From zakhrafa, to decorate something. I have written a piece decorated piece يعجز عنها العدبلي أو يعجز عنها الأدبلي, that even poets are unable to memorize it, are unable to study it. So at the end of his poem and his campaign, he clearly said that نظمت قطعا زخرفت يعجز عنها الأدبلي, that even those who are very good in poems and literature, the king is said to be very good in poems and he memorized it at once. So he's claiming at the end of it that he has written a piece, or has made a piece that even the one who is an adib cannot memorize it. And he says finally, أقول في مطلعها صوت صفير البلبل, صوت صفير البلبل. I say in the beginning of the poem, مطلع القصيدة. When we say مطلع القصيدة, we mean the pickup point of the poem, the first idea of the poem. That is the matla, or the first line of the poem. That is the matla al-qasida. And it's very important, even in essay writing, every literature material, the beginning is where you incite your listeners, and if it's your viewers or your readers. So it says, أقول في مطلعها, I say in its beginning, صوت صفير البلبل. You know, of course, that is how it started. Okay. This brings us to the end of this complicated poem. The poem isn't really like of that class, but the story around it and all that gave it a hype. It's said to be not so authentic, but it has been celebrated all across. So it's something that if you're an Arabic student, you should know. Get it? You should know. Okay, as usual, let's go to our reading session. Let's see if you can read it, so that those who are not those who can't easily read it will also benefit from this part, though it's a lengthy poem. You've already spent much time. صوت صفير البلبلي says, صوت صفير البلبلي هيج قلبي الثمل, الماء والزهر معا مع زهر لحظ المقل, وأنت يا سيد لي وسيدي ومولى لي, فكم تيمني غزيل عقيقلي, قطفته من وجنة من لثم ورد الخجل, فقال لا 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 وقد قدى مهرولي, والخوذ مالت طربا من فعل هذا الرجل, فولولت وولولت ولي يا ويللي, فقلت لا تولولي وبين اللؤلؤ لي, قالت له حين كذا انهد وجد بالنقل, وفتية سقونني قهوة كالعسل لي, شممتها بأنفي أزكى من القرنفل, في وسط بستان هلي بالزهر والسرور لي, والعود دندن دنا لي, والطبل طب لي, طب لي. This portion is crazy. والسقف سق لي, والرقص قد طاب لي, شوى وشاهش, والرقص قد طاب لي, شوى وشاهش على ورق السفرجل, ولو تراني راكبا على حمار أهزل, يمشي على ثلاثة كمشية الأرنجل, والناس ترجم لي والناس ترجم جملي في السوق بالقلقل, والقل كعكع خلفي ومن حوللي ومن حويللي, لكن مشيت هاربا من خشية العقنقل إلى لقاء ملك معظم مبجل, يأمر لي بخلعة حمراء كالدمع دملي, أجر فيها ماشيا مبددا للذيل, أنا العديب العلمائي من حي أرض موصلي, نظمت قطعا زخرفت يعجز عنها الأدبلي, أقول في مطلعها صوت صفير البلبلي. Now this is crazy. It's a crazy poem. So, but now people memorize it easily, very easily. Okay, so this brings us to the end of this beautiful episode. I hope so. Okay, so till we meet again in the next episode, have a blessed Ramadan and have a blessed Arabic language time. I hope you always study Arabic language with so much joy. That is our goal, to make it easy and entertaining for everybody. Okay, so till we meet again, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ramadan Mubarak.